So you're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? You know, didn't want to follow it because you didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed, they would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time if they didn't know anything? Come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead it was just excuse after excuse and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, I was actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx, trying to figure it out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
Wow, that's truly upsetting.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
We have objects in the sky that are the size of an SUV over any city, over any state. It's an invasion of our airspace. In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home, also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen. That capability exists. It's possible some of those drones are here. So I have two questions. How are they fueling them? They have to land somewhere. Drones don't fly forever. Why don't they close down the airspace? Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's the holidays. Shut it down. But if you start shooting things and you don't know how they're fueled, that's going to be mass explosions. This isn't like one spy balloon. Congressman, this is serious.
Joining us tonight is New Jersey Mayor Sam Morris from Mine Hill to talk about what has become a really bizarre situation, Mayor. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby has said there is no evidence to show drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat. As you know, he also said they have no foreign nexus. So what was your first thought when you heard all of that?
Oh, I was pretty angry, but when he says, "Oh, there's no evidence," we haven't seen that evidence. They haven't shared one document, one email, one anything with anyone that we're aware of that would maybe let the rest of us judge for ourselves. And when he says there's no danger to the public, there is a danger to the public. These things are up in the air. The colonel of the New Jersey State Police said they turn off their lights and they turn off their locating beacons. And that's right there is a violation of federal law. So, and the state police have seen them. And they commented what they do when the state police gets near them. Yet the White House says, oh, there's no credible threat. The threat is if they're turning off their lights, they could get entangled in an airplane or some other, a helicopter or something. And the weight of these things, if they somehow malfunction and lost their power and they come down, if they weigh 50 pounds and they're falling from 300 feet, that's not going to be good for whoever's underneath of it. So I really think Mr. Kirby's statement today was pretty stupid.
We have heard some concerns from residents, of course, as well. Kirby said the sightings are manned aircraft. Can you break down the regulations surrounding what is lawful behavior in New Jersey when it comes to drone use?
First of all, any drone that's up in the air, and my understanding is it's anything above 50 feet. So under 50 feet is kind of a, little kids with those little airplanes and things like that. But anything over 50 feet, as I understand it, you have to have a FAA flight plan. Now, I know three different drone operators. In the morning, you go in, you fill out a form on the FAA website, you submit it, and generally they get back to you in pretty short order and say, hey, yeah, if you want to fly a drone today over a farm, over a lake, you want to get some fall pictures, your flight plan is approved and you're good to go. They've said that these don't have a flight plan.
We understand that you spoke with the U.S. Homeland Security Advisor. What's their explanation for what's going on? What do you want to see happen next?
He spoke at the meeting yesterday at the state police headquarters. There were 250 mayors or so in the room. There was the colonel of state police and the advisor from Homeland Security. The advisor from Homeland Security didn't say a whole lot. Not that he didn't want to, but he just didn't have a lot to add. And the hearing frustrated some people, but we did find out some good information. And what it is what was confirmed by the state police yesterday is that whoever's flying these things and whoever's operating them, they're violating Section 107 of the FAA code, which manages drones. So there's a big problems, and and that's why this has everyone so upset. So this stuff that these are not real is just hogwash.
And people are documenting what they see. We were just playing out some videos. Probably some of your residents shot those images. So we appreciate your time. Keep us posted on what you find. Mayor Sam Morris, thank you for joining us tonight on the National News Desk.
Thank you very much for having me.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said,
here it is. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
New Jersey residents documenting what's become a disturbing trend. Unmanned aerial systems or drones flying overhead constantly.
This is over my house right now. What is that?
But it's not just their homes, but a golf course owned by President-elect Donald Trump and a military installation. The drones reportedly the size of SUVs.
I think the creepy part is not that it's just a drone, that they're so large.
Dozens of New Jersey lawmakers demanding action from Governor Phil Murphy.
We're obviously most concerned about sensitive targets and sensitive critical infrastructure.
The threat prompting this hearing on Capitol Hill.
From foreign adversaries seeking to exploit UAS for surveillance and intelligence gathering, to the growing risk of UAS being weaponized to attack critical infrastructure, sports stadiums, our vulnerabilities are clear.
Lawmakers sounding alarm bells, not just about potential risks, but actual ones.
And we had this report from the New Jersey State Police now admitting that they have revealed that unidentified drones are operating on a frequency that cannot be detected. Okay, we can't detect the frequency? We don't know, admits the New Jersey State Police. We don't know what these things are. New Jersey Representative Jeff Van Drew now is doubling down on the same claim that he made yesterday, which we brought to you yesterday here on the show, that these mysterious drones are coming from an Iranian mothership off the east coast of the United States. And he slammed Pentagon officials for it at the time for treating the American people like they're stupid. Now he wants answers from the government, and he hopes that they'll tell us the truth about it today, I guess. Like we'll suddenly get answers on this. But he's right about one thing on this, which is that it's been about a month now. I mean, November 18th is when these things were first spotted, and they're showing up in massive numbers, staying up in the air for 6-7 hours at a time, even longer in some reports. And where are they going back to? We don't know. We don't have any idea. Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling BS on all of this. She says this idea that the Pentagon or the Defense Department doesn't know where these are coming from is total garbage. She says they absolutely know. She's calling BS. Watch.
Jersey has some of the best detection equipment in the nation, I am told. We have by far the most robust equipment, is what the state police told us. The detection equipment is up, but not detecting. These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
It's too bad we don't have some kind of global persistent infrared surveillance system constantly scanning the entire planet. Otherwise, we'd be able to figure out what these drones are and where they're coming from. Oh, wait! We do. SBIR is the space-based infrared system that we have at our disposal. That's exactly what we have already in place to completely scan the United States and the world, for instance, constantly scanning the entire planet. We know exactly where they're coming from. I mean, we can pinpoint and tell you what the movement of trucks in Russia, for crying out loud. We know what underground bunkers are hiding in Iran, for crying out loud. We know exactly where these things are coming from, but we're just not being honest, of course. And then overnight, we got new images, by the way. Look at this helicopter coming in contact with one of these things in the sky. Look at the size of this thing. So in the back, look on the bottom picture here. You can see the helicopter in the background and this like massive craft, unlike anything I've ever seen before. Okay, is this some sort of a man-made craft? Looks like it probably is. And then in Florida, now not just New Jersey, Florida, in Plantation, Florida, this woman was live streaming last night on Facebook, and she was showing live these orbs in the sky, and then she shows them, they transform into airplanes and then take off. And she's like, for 5 hours and for 5 days in a row, I've been capturing these things. So watch this as these things transform from an orb and then suddenly just shoot off as airplanes. Watch.
Okay, guys, this is real time live streaming. Drones, UAP, UFO, call them whatever you want. This is not normal. And by the way, the FAA clears. There's no airplanes flying right now in the greater Plantation area. Look how it takes flight. That one takes flight in the shape of an airplane. That one takes flight and eventually, well, it's still looking like an orb. Okay, so let's see how big this one gets. I believe this has some kind of technology that it projects some kind of holographic image of an airplane. I know I sound crazy, but I've seen these now for 5 days. 5 days.
So there you go.
Did
The
anybody
drama
else think
continues.
that the emoji hearts were the drones at first?
Yeah.
People pushing them.
People
And I was like,
live-streamed it,
oh,
yeah.
and they're heart-shaped?
People kept pounding the hearts on that.
Okay, I'm not the only gullible one.